Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or should I say good late night, considering that there was, a 13-hour difference between where I'm at in China and the central time zone in the States where a great many of my viewers are, and well, where I spend my time when I'm not in China. Alright. That being said, early on I said that this channel, most of the videos on here would pertain to topics relevant China. Okay, you know, whether it's a social topic, a news topic, a cultural phenomenon, whatever. Today I'm going to break that a bit, though. Every now and then I might choose a story from back home that I want to talk about. In today's story, I want to talk about a man. His name was Clayton Lockett, convicted felon, convicted of murder in the state of Oklahoma. He was sentenced to the death penalty. All right, now a few days ago, his clock, or his alarm clock rang, and he was brought to said chamber, and he was administered a lethal injection. Well, guess what? He started shaking, tremoring, seizing, coming up off the bed, so much so that the warden, or whoever's in charge of said mechanism, shut the curtain between the viewing area and the chamber wherein the execution takes place, which I could do a whole video on that. I just don't know how watching somebody, whether, you know, they're a convicted felon or whatnot, whether they're guilty or whatnot, I can't see how somebody would get off or have some sense of closure watching another person being killed. I don't get it, that's just me. You know, bring on the hate for that one. I'm sure a bunch of people will say, well, you don't know, you've never experienced that. Yeah, you're right, but I still, using my experience and my imagination, can't understand why somebody would want to watch it. But anyway, I digress. What happened? Well, the executioners say that this response to the drug, and I don't remember the name of the drug, was due to a ruptured vein when it was being administered. The individual, Clayton Lockett, did die. He died from a heart attack, which is not the intended mode of death when using this drug. From what I've gathered in research, it's similar to a drug they use to put down an animal. It's an anesthetic that numbs the body and then gradually slows it down to the point of death. That's not even what I want to talk about, even though that again is sketchy too, because this drug that they use for lethal injection has a very interesting history. It used to be supplied by European drug makers. They then protested the use of said drug for the death penalty, and that manufacturer, citing moral and ethical reasons, said, guess what, US, you're not getting this drug anymore. So I'm wondering where we're getting it from. Are we manufacturing it on our own? I've even read some reports that have suggested that early on, in order to quickly replace the drug, we were buying it from states that sponsor the death penalty. Maybe China. Okay, so that right there, you know, I mean, that's kind of sketchy, and that's worthy of debate too. But what I want to talk about is, having read about this and then having watched some videos here on the tubes about it. The Young Terps made a couple videos. I just watched one by the Healthy Addict. But I look in the comment sections, and all these people, you know, cite the death penalty as being a good thing because it deters violent crime. I want to know where the fuck you sourced that one. Alright, I studied criminal justice for 4 years. I've got a degree in it. And every material that I ever came across cited or exposed the opposite. That states that do have the death penalty in their statutes and exercise said statute on a regular basis actually have higher rates of violent crime, and that's per capita. Okay, that's a per capita statistic. That's not just, you know, if I said California has more violent crime and they have the death penalty, well, people are going to say, oh, well, that's because California has a huge population. But even if you break it down per capita, one need only look at the National Crime Index that the FBI puts out every year. They have federal statistics, which are nationwide statistics I'll put together, and then they have it broken down by state. You get states like California, you get states like Texas, states like Florida, wherein you have an incredible amount of violent crime, but at the same time you've got the death penalty. So this idea of death penalty as deterrent is bullshit. And people that keep on holding on to that last survival of this idea that it's a good thing just need to look at the statistics, pull their heads out of their ass, and then come at me. Alright? If you find something that flies in the face of what I said, come at me too, but it's bullshit. Okay, per capita, more violent crime in states with the death penalty. And that's notwithstanding a lot of these individuals, up to 25% of these individuals could very well have been wrongly prosecuted. They could be innocent. Again, just look at the Innocence Project. Go to Amnesty International, who has time and time again cited executions that have been scheduled or executions that have already taken place wherein, you know, beyond a reasonable doubt had not been confirmed, at least in their eyes. I mean, you have to understand the fallacy of human errors sometimes. I mean, all it takes is one mistake on behalf of an overworked public defender that the prosecutors can exploit, and you could very well have just sent an innocent man to his death with the crowd watching, when the curtains spread, whatever the case is. But this idea of it as a deterrent, the death penalty as a deterrent, is bullshit. And I just had to throw my 2 cents worth in on that one. But there you go. There's the story from back home. That's my opinion. Again, come at me if you disagree with it. Okay? It's all good. But anyway, that's all I got for now. I got a video. Well, I don't know if I posted it before this or I'm posting it after, but we're going to talk about the Big Bang Theory and how it's been banned in China. Interesting stuff. Later. Peace.